For my time as a state representative, addressing some of the issues surrounding AIDS, HIV, homophobia, and the stigma of AIDS, HIV was extremely important to me. I was successful in sponsoring several pieces of legislation, but I found that that really didn't reach mainstream communities. And so myself and several friends, including Rayford Johnson, got together and decided that we needed to organize the faith community surrounding this conversation.
This is a conversation that has been bubbling in our community for a very long time about where we need to go next. As a member who I serve on the board for AIDS Atlanta, and knowing that the challenges that we have in our community, this, I believe, is the last frontier.
I am an openly gay pastor in the city of Atlanta. And it is hard to live in Atlanta and to pastor marginalized people and not come in contact with HIV and AIDS at an alarming rate. I also have some history in working in public health with the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, and so I'm aware of the ways in which prevention is so important and pivotal in shifting this epidemic. And the Black church's voice has just been silent too long.
I believe we have to start having conversations that will remove the stigma concerning the LGBTQ community, concerning AIDS and HIV, and restore dignity to the people of God, because we're all God's children.
I did this campaign out of my church called Stop the Hate. And so what I did, I took some of my members to the clubs and went in the club and was just telling the club people, it was gay clubs, don't hate who you are, love who you are, and value yourself. It was two things in that. It was dealing with homophobia and dealing with HIV. So I took it to the club instead of inviting them to my church. I went to where they were and I would ask the club owners, give me 5 minutes.
I'm from a small country town, very religious, and the homophobia there runs deep. And so even when people are in the church and they are trying to be themselves, they're still extremely oppressed, but I feel like a lot of people there don't know how to leave that. And so that's why these type of dialogues are so important to me when we're including spirituality as well as the LGBTQIA plus community.
As a openly gay woman who has a openly gay brother with HIV, we've had our fair share of trying to take our devotion to Christ into different communities and being removed. So what I'm looking for today is to understand, how do we bring them together? How do we expand the conversation, but build and bridge understanding that if we're all people of Christ and that we love the Lord and God is love, then why should we presume that certain groups are not welcome in certain spaces?
They're left, and that's the faith community actually stepping up to help to proactively be a solution in helping us to stem the rise of sexually transmitted diseases.
That is, we've had numerous conversations, but where is the actual result of that work? So how do we get to a place where we stop and address the issue of homophobia or the stigma surrounding AIDS, HIV. And I believe that the faith community can play an integral role in advancing that conversation in a way that no other community can.
Everybody's voice needs to be heard and welcomed at the same table in the same space. And if we leave the table still not accepting one another, at least we can understand how each other arrived at where we are.
Because until people see themselves in the conversation, we can't really change the conversation.